All right. Hi, everybody. I think Diana and I need a couple of deep breaths. Probably everyone else needs some deep breaths too.
We could start that way as soon as we get
Yeah,
a minute or two to get in the room.
yeah. We got 5 people, it says. So, hi, everybody. Let us know. Let me know if you can, if my internet is doing anything weird on y'all's end. Wants
Because
to be
yours.
wants to tell me things that I don't know if they're true or not. Ah, we're getting a bunch of people. Hi, everyone. Happy new moon, ring of fire, solar eclipse in Libra. What's it all mean? Well, Libra is relationships, but my guides have insisted that the relationship, I don't know where Diana went, that's most important, is the one we have with ourselves. And are you okay? Hi, Viviani.
I am.
Okay. She's here. I'm going to pick a card for us from the Unicorn deck, Oracle of the Unicorns. Nature. Let's see if we can see it. It's a beautiful tree. It says, ground yourself, find a sanctuary in nature, connect with the elementals. I love it. Hi, Joji. And then I got passion. Do what excites you. Get fired up about your life. Increase your energy levels. Well, that's exactly what's going on. These energies. Well, let's just stick with today because we could get really. Go ahead.
Yeah, this goes right with what you said. The sorcerer.
Oh yes, we are.
Look at that.
Sorcerer. That's beautiful.
Let's do some Akashic diving with that. And at the bottom of it, we have Holy Mountain.
Wow, beautiful. So I got a tree, you got a mountain, a lot of fire.
Yeah.
A lot of fire. Where'd it go? Now I lost it. Anyhow. Hi, Crown Zone. Conversations with the Ancients. Look, everybody. We love you. So glad everybody's here. We're holding space together while this Hi Warrior Girl, while we raise the vibration on Mother Earth. So we can all elevate in vibration. Long time.
I don't know if you're doing it for everybody, but you kind of freeze up every now and then. Your voice is still okay, but your picture freezes up.
I'll have to call in tech support. My son. I can't. I haven't had a problem. I'm always on here. It might be why.
Oh,
Internet. I haven't seen anything from anyone else, but Diana's saying she's getting me. Hi, Ron. Oh, Ron, blessings to you.
Yes, my dear.
Your lifelong companion, Jenny. It's never easy. Never ever.
No matter how much we are familiar with what the end result of life is, our pets.
Our pets are everything. I have one over here wanting to come up on the computer. Let's hope he doesn't.
Oh, well, there you go.
Then I got intention. Then that's what the new moon's for, is to do our intentions, right? Create our life. I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah, because
but this is also a releasing day because of the eclipse. Like big things, write them down. Write those releasings down. What you want to let go of.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly, because that is a form of action.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that action leads into manifestation, right?
Absolutely.
And a solar eclipse is about the action taken, whether it's an action that you take or an action that is taken towards you and sent towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And so through these next 2 weeks, till the 28th,
Yes.
the emotional connection will begin to build up. It may feel emotional at the moment, but sometimes you can sort through those emotions and balance them better, especially if we stop and think about the Libra and the Aries north and south nodes, because those are being affected right now as well.
Yeah.
We have the sun sitting at 21 degrees, the moon at 21 degrees, and the south node at 24 degrees of Libra. So it's, especially at this time, really gearing towards that.
Yeah. We have the Pluto squaring the nodes too.
Oh, and that's still in play.
Yeah.
For another, what, till January?
Yeah.
Or December 31st?
Yeah.
New Year's
It'll
Eve?
it'll just be moving off. The thing is, it says we're in these really powerful energies too. And we have five the big planets in eclipse. I'm sorry, retrograde. We have many of the asteroids in retrograde, and we don't have all the information yet. And that's how I look at retrogrades, is that we just don't have the information. And what I keep hearing from my team is it's to go inside, to take this fall and winter and really go in, release. October is the best release month. We always do this on a full moon. And Diana and I have been guiding everybody since the spring equinox. You know what? Release on both full moon, new moon, whenever it comes up for you.
Absolutely. We
And
have
then,
Saturn is going direct on November 4th, but until that time, what is he doing? He's looking at that second, backing over what that territory was he went over the first time on foundations and boundaries. So we're not finished with it. And then he's got to go forward through all of the shadow work, you know? And it's at 0 degrees.
of Pisces. Yeah, 0
Yes.
Pisces. So it's like unlimited.
He went all the way back to the very beginning, but he didn't leave Pisces.
Nope.
He did not go back into Aquarius.
Right.
So he's just in Pisces, and now it's about envision, write a list.
Right.
It's harder to release this time around, because remember what that Virgo season was like, that we just came out of, which was taking care of yourself a little bit more than taking care of others. And that was what was hard for us to do. As it being Virgo season, we all want to take care of everybody else.
But don't you feel like it's the energies are still asking us, this is about you. In order to go forward, you have to be really honoring yourself, honoring your dreams, and not letting others, or even though Libra's relationship, the other side of Libra is Aries, and that's I am, right? So it's how do we create?
That's where the North Node is.
Exactly.
So right, and can we take action on some of that I am stuff right now?
Slow.
Baby steps. Because our foundation is shaky. It's in Pisces. Saturn is, take your Saturn out of your pocket. Whenever you get into trouble, you take your Saturn out of your pocket. But he's not necessarily the guy to go to right now.
Well, and this is another thing it's being explained to me. Saturn is going through a transmutation. He's in Pisces, where there's no boundaries, there's no rules, there's no systems. And and feeling through it. But we have that Neptune in Pisces. So to me, this is spiritually based. Saturn's restructuring the systems, and to the point where I'm hearing they're not even be called systems anymore, to be more life affirming than the life negating things we live under. A lot of us live under a lot of pressure. And, but he's only started. He started and he went back and he's got to start again. So the main point of that is, as we are evolving within ourselves, it's up to us, the spiritual community, the love workers, light workers, energy workers, to bring in these new ideas and implement them for the collective. It's a huge job, and it isn't just going to happen overnight,
Right.
but we're going to be really far ahead once everybody's going direct about the beginning of February, where we're going to have clarity on how to go forward. What does that mean? But it starts with us individually. Before we can help the rest of us or the collective, we have to get ourselves aligned. And that's what Spirit's doing. He's aligning us into these. I mean, I was just grateful. I'm grateful. I was on Linda G show. I'm just busy. I have all these appointments, sessions every day. Every day I only take one day off a week, barely. And then all of a sudden, oh, you're moving. So I got to move in the middle of and it was just like I was picked up and just dropped back off somewhere else. And I'm like, what was that about? And it was terrifying. I didn't even realize I was terrified until here I am in the middle of it.
Because you're the mom. Moms are not allowed to be terrified.
What the hell happened? But I'm sure that's just one example. I'm sure this is happening to all of us in some aspect of our lives where it's just like, what the hell is going on? And the thing I'm hearing, because I was sitting here going, I'm scared. And they're like, no, don't be scared. You're being aligned. Everybody is by Spirit, your teams, everybody is. Everything's in divine timing. What is happening is especially if you're heart-centered, soul-centered, it's divinely inspired. There's nothing to fear. But it is quite.
Well, yeah. Think about these kind of long retrogrades we've had where those retrogrades all occurred in one sign. Yeah. I mean, Saturn's still doing it. Now, when he first entered, he was able to get closer to Neptune. So it's going to be a while before he gets to Neptune this time, because Neptune's at 23, 24 degrees. And Saturn is way, way back. But then we also had Venus staying in one sign for 7 weeks. We had Mars retrograde in one sign for 7 weeks. And then we also had Mercury stay in one sign while he did his little retrograde dance. So, I mean, we've got all of this.
Everybody's getting
cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, in their spot. Yeah.
Might as well enjoy it, because it's not over with.
No, it's not.
Because we still have Uranus and Jupiter to go through, and Neptune. Well, Neptune is forward, but I mean, he and Saturn will go into Neptune, not forward. Did I say that? Sorry. He and Saturn and Neptune will basically be going into Aries at about the same time, but that's not until 2026. So,
But that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point, though, because when they do, and this is rare, when two planets, especially the big ones, go into a sign together, that never happens. It's saying to us, and it's going right into that north node where we're all headed, right? It's saying to us, from here on, it's spirit. This is spirit with spiritually based structures. Okay, now that's got to work its way out until the beginning of 2026. But right now, we have all the fast movers, all the personal planets are going forward. Finally, Venus is going forward. But guess who's ruling this eclipse? Venus. Venus rules Libra. Again, and the one at the end of the month in Taurus, Venus rules Taurus. And the 28th, there's a partial lunar eclipse. So this is all about, yes, release what no longer serves, but Venus has the same message. Go in your heart, only follow your heart, what you love and what you value, and focus, really like laser focus on that. Because the rest of the world wants to take us out of our center and wants to get us all freaked out, in fear. Oh, there's this happening, there's that happening. And yeah, we say this all the time, you got to pay attention, but you don't have to live there. In fact, living there is going to really diminish your energy to go forward. Don't you think? You think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have so much of our own crap to deal with. And now we got to do with that one too. Yes, we do. Because
we send it love.
Are of that collective. And Pluto is now direct. Take a breath. Did you feel that shift?
Oh, yeah, I did.
You know, that was only 4 days ago. Don't you feel lighter? And
yeah.
I mean, he hasn't gone anywhere. He's not going to move for another 6 weeks. But where he is now, he's going to be at the same degrees.
And we see how they manipulated that. Now I'm going to go into something a little crappy.
Sure. Okay, go on. Do it.
Few days before, right? They know he's going to change. They know and when he does, we're all going to go, well, no. See, they didn't want that. They had a war started in Israel with Hamas and Israel.
And that's, to take minds off of Ukraine. It just added another log on the fire.
War. Yeah.
Put another log on the fire. Cook me up some bacon and some beans. Yeah.
But they did. That was to don't relax, because they know once Pluto goes into Aquarius, he's going to level the playing field in the favor of humanity, because he's a humanitarian. He wants everyone to be free. Everyone has a seat at the table. So these last couple degrees in Capricorn, they're really going to keep pulling out the big guns, but they don't have the energy is raising too high. They don't have it like they used to. Yes, we're all looking at these wars, and most of us are now sending love instead of sending in fear, because they bank on our fear and our stress and our hate and our division, or any of that combination. Well, now we're just standing there just sending love. And what else? We can't really change anything from where we're sitting, but we can send love, and that's everything. Love is the answer, right?
And this Pluto release that's coming, it is really this time he's going to be in Aquarius longer, till September. When he finally hits, now he's not going to go very far. His movement is slow no matter what. So even though it's only going to be a little bit, it's going to be longer than it was the last time. And in September, when he goes retrograde, he's not going as far back as he did this time.
No.
He'll go into Capricorn, but he's only dipping his toe into Capricorn.
To 29.
Right. And so then it's January of 2025. He's in Aquarius to stay.
And it's going to, so we all know this next year and a half until the United States presidential election. That is their playbook is the same playbook. Fear, division, hate, and they're going to really layer it on there.
Well, and Saturn is in the same place it was during the Civil War. So, we see these little uprisings, not little, they're wars. They're over on other shores. But that's something that has been going on for eternity, right? I mean, we cannot think of a time in history when there was any solid peace worldwide.
Not especially not in these last 3-4 ages, right? And here we are at the age of Pisces going into the age of Aquarius, but there's no date for that. It's based on how we raise the vibration, how we take this energy and utilize it to the highest we can, despite being constantly told the sky's falling, right?
You know, that was so beautifully said, Valerie. Thank you. I love that. Exactly. We have, it's up to us to make the era move smoother and faster
Right.
by
And
jumping into that white light.
yeah. And we're all doing it, right? We're all day long, we straddle the third dimension and higher. And all day long, we're all pretty dizzy, but we're getting used to it, right? We're getting a little more stable as the time goes on.
Don't want to get any more used to it than this.
And then once we're stable and we're up here and we can stand back as neutral observers and say, I see what you're doing. I'm going to send it love. I'm going to send that love. All these atrocities are about the only thing that's going to fix it is unconditional love, because we tried war how many times in all these ages, right? It's been war after war after war, and it's abusive. It's just toxic. It's god awful, and we are all longing for that age of Aquarius where we can all create this world that we all want. We all see it. I know we do.
And especially in our community that, our friends who are here watching and friends that we go to watch and play with,
Thank you.
We sort of eliminate that stuff, right? We eliminate it from our lives. So that's what makes it harder to go outside the small cube of what is still unfamiliar territory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And my dear, I mean you in particular, because look what you just said, all these rapid changes that kept firing in your direction. You know, it's like the balloon guy at the carnival where you put the water pistol out so you can squish down that clown head, it's like whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And it's, I just had to stop because I was getting really stressed out and I was like getting anxious again, which I haven't been in a while. I got really anxious and I started getting frustrated. And, when you get frustrated, you cry. And I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We can, well, they just said in my head, surf the waves. Constantly surf the waves. Don't fight it. Don't.
Right.
Fighting it makes you fall off the board and there you are tumbling, right?
Exactly. It's like riding a motorcycle. It's the most wonderful experience as long as you look where you want to be. Because if you look at the ground, down you're going.
Yeah.
And that's not where you want to be because that's not where you are. That's rolling underneath you just as fast as you're pulling those wheels forward. And so you got to stay focused on where you want to be because it's not like you ever really get there. I mean, you do. You park the bike, you shut it off, you go, do whatever. But, it's a goal. It's the big planets. It's the big retrograde planets that make it more difficult to stay focused on the goal because they're moving even slower now. Where we've got the everyday planets trying to make us function and trying to make us do things and trying to make us do things against our nature.
Right.
Because they're the ones caught up in the rhetoric of aspects that are uncomfortable, the challenges. But my favorite thing about oppositions is it's not an opposition unless you make it that. It's a paradox and it can be a miracle.
Right. And that's what I am seeing. I think we all are. We see these little sparks, miracles of this. I mean, even in nature, just taking in nature just for a few minutes and just observing it, it is. We all know what that feels like. Just to see a butterfly go by or whatever, a squirrel in a tree. Take that moment. Take those moments because each one of them is significant. It's spirit. It's talking to us. and Spirit talks to us in utilizing everything that we're observing, right?
Right.
So being in those moments of, wow, that was just amazing. Instead of worrying about, wow, look down the road, we got all this going on. And every time the fast movers, the personal planets change signs, and they do fast, right? Because they knew when Pluto was changing, and 2 days later, Mars went into Scorpio. Known for the war vibe, right? Known for it. I knew they were going to try something. And here, it was like 3 days before Pluto went direct. But it's part of what we have to. It's more of this unfolding that we've been talking about for the last couple of years. It's all got to play out, because we got to see how awful it's been. How much of these systems were used against us, used against our better nature too. It's insidious. It is.
Yeah.
Send it love. As mad as I get about it, I'll end up, okay, I'm allowed to be angry, then I send it love. I just keep sending it love, because these next 2 years are going to be like this surfing, right?
And what is the opposite of that discourse? I don't want to use that other word. Love is the opposite of. And there is one thing in our blueprint of life that is an exact opposite, and it's the north and south nodes. And there's one thing in the course of a day that is a complete opposite by degree, never within orb, always, and that is the north and south node. So when you think of, let's just say Mars opposite the sun. Well, the sun is moving and Mars is moving, so it's going to be for a day, and then the sun's going to move. Now it's starting in its orbit direction and not being exactly right. So that is a constant change. That's the constant change of every day. That's getting a head cold, blowing your nose and having it gone, things like that, those little natty things. But we deal with that perfect opposition in our own blueprints every day. What serves and what doesn't serve.
And that north node is in Aries, right? South node's in Libra. He was sitting there with Mars, just let it all go. And this is where we're close right now. We're close to that. Now, they're not as close as they were, but this is, again, a good time to release more and more these fears. I didn't even know I was afraid to go outside until recently. Here I am. I'm afraid to go outside. And I'm working through it, though. Let me just comment on Jane the Seeker. She says she heard something major is going to happen on February 1st. She is a tad scared. That is when, okay, all the planets will be direct.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a vibe on it. Not to say something isn't going to happen, but I feel that that's when we open up and we kind of get that sigh of relief. Like, okay, now because we're going to have a lot more information through this winter and this fall. We're going to glean more information as to how Spirit wants us to go forward. Now, the outside world's going to constantly, with the external, the news, the politics, the wars, they're going to just steady keep going till the election. They're just going to ramp up and ramp up. I do think, and maybe you can comment on this too, you know how the North Node is going towards Chiron, transiting Chiron? It's a small window, though. I don't think they're going to try it once Pluto's in Aquarius. But I do think that I feel they're going to try something big, and it's going to backfire on them.
And, that might be because Chiron is still retrograde, correct? And
That's
And
17.
the North Node and South Node is about to do their little retrograde thing. And they're going to stay put for a couple of weeks. I mean, so let me explain to everybody. Planets move counterclockwise around the surface, the clock. That is the chart. The nodes move clockwise, like the big hand and the little hand and the second hand go around the clock. When the nodes go retrograde, which they do a little retrograde because the Earth is tilting and the timeline is changing, blah, blah, blah. They go forward. They go in that same direction as the planets. But they don't move very much at all. Right. You don't really, I mean, it's more like a little undulating, it's like the boat rocking when it's tied on the dock and the waves from the rooster tail that just went past on the boat, and created these waves down on the shore, on the dock. So it just kind of meanders a little bit forward and a little bit back and a little bit forward and a little bit back, and then it gets stable again. So it's not going to move any far, but when it's about to go into one, because it's going to still be at 24 degrees, it touches on 23 degrees before it goes back to its normal orbit pattern. Yeah. But that's because it's at 24 degrees and 53 minutes. So or 20, I can't remember the exact minutes. I apologize. But anyways, it's there for like 3 weeks. I just looked at that because I was doing somebody's chart and I had just looked at that and don't recall it.
Well, Jane, and she's saying Mars squares the eclipse on February 4th.
Mars squares the eclipse on February 4th?
Yeah, it would be. We're in the eclipse now, and we're in the eclipse on the 28th. Now, yes, Mars on the 28th is in play, isn't...
Well, wait, I got a chart right here for the 28th.
Yeah.
No, that's today.
That'll be on Taurus at 5 degrees, is that right?
I've got... Wait, on the 28th, I've got Mars at 18 degrees of Scorpio.
And the eclipse is at on what on the 28th? Isn't that?
Oh, it's at
Taurus.
The sun is in Scorpio, and so that puts the moon in Taurus at 3 degrees.
3. Okay. And then, so we're at 3 degrees. Mars is at 19. That's not a square. Again, once the sun moves into Scorpio, like they're going to try to utilize this Scorpio energy in its lowest vibration, which is war and things like that. But
what do we know about Scorpio?
Right.
Knows the secrets and knows how to get down to the core of it all.
Yes. And that's important. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jack Smith is a Gemini, so he knows how to he's one who knows how to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a chart on him because he doesn't divulge his birth time, but we know how old he is. So we know what the year is, we know where he was born, and we know what his sun sign is. And because he's so secretive, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have a Scorpio rising. Right. He kind of has that Scorpio feel to his face. Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying his moon's on Scorpio on his Scorpio rising, and he has a couple other things there because he has got that Scorpio.
There's a ruggedness about him that is like, no, ma'am.
I thought you were going to say that's sexy.
Well, it is. It is. Yeah. That swarthy cowboy kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is. But this Scorpio season is going to reveal a lot because they try to use it to play against us with that low vibration. But Scorpio is brilliant. They know underneath. And anything that the thing with, well, any sign, but Scorpio especially, is that, okay, here's the toxins, but here's the cure for that toxin in the same thing with Scorpios. Scorpios are really, don't underestimate them. And if they're just trying to play the surface stuff, the war and stuff, it's not going to work, because we can all
Right.
see through it. If we think about it, we're understanding Scorpio really good. We can see right through everything they're doing.
Right. And you know, everybody needs to be aware that their rising sign may even be a degree or two more important than your sun sign.
Absolutely.
Because that's where you let your people in. You know, those people that you become the most comfortable with, that's where you drop your shields. And, you know, like, please tell me when I'm being a jerk. Please, you know, I mean, that's your rising sign. No ego involved. No defense mechanisms.
I agree with that, because it's the energy people meet is your rising sign. That's that first breath we took. It is us. It's how we speak, walk, talk, dress, eat, everything. Yeah. So when you're comfortable with others that are close to you, you know, but it's really hard to read somebody's rising sign. I can read their sun sign, even their moon sign, but the rising sign is always
what's inside of you.
Yeah. But it's really cool. I mean, we have all of these, and this is just as many as I can fit on there, right? But that's all of our energy signature. Is our chart. Yeah, see, he's got more asteroids.
Okay, so this is what it's going to look like on the 28th. And when I look at this, I see, well, we have a mystic rectangle, so big downloads. But look at this. This is one of the most amazing looking kites I've ever seen, because look at this shape. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it reminds me of a teepee.
Yeah, it does. Wow. And it's pointing to all those things up above it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that's, you know, if you look at the piece of paper straight, that's the way it is. But I'm looking at geometry, so I'm always like, what's that? And where's that? And oh, look at that. And then of course there's a yod, and you know, that's the finger of God. What are you doing that you're not, you know? And and if you have a yod in your chart, does that enhance your yod? Does it light it up? That's your, you know, your Venus thingy pointing, you know?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, Venus may not necessarily be involved, but when she is involved, it's a Venus star point.
Wow, that's so cool, the star point. We all have these specific points, though, in our charts that do get lit up every day. These planets are moving every day.
So this is what it looks like today. Well, look, we have the Grand Trine here, and we have a slightly cattywampus one going up over here. Oh, look at, if we turn it this way, we have a pentacle. What's this? These are no. What's this? This is the T-square with Pluto. Beeping the horn. But it's a T-square. That means it's a talent square.
Right. It is making moves, is what it's doing. It's bringing in a lot of and another thing with Pluto and Scorpio, they're going to reveal, what they don't want to reveal. I keep getting this feeling they're just going to stare, and they're just exposing themselves more and more and more. But once that gets caught on through the collective, it's really going to take off. These revealings are coming up, and there's no way to stop it. We've got this Pluto squaring the nodes. We're about to go into Scorpio season. I think I started my channel on 0 degree Scorpio. I can't even remember what year. I think it was 2021. I don't know. I think this is my 3rd year. I have to look. Anyway, I did that on purpose because 0 degree Scorpio is about, okay, Scorpio is like boundaries and protection, but it's authentic at the high and the highest vibration of Scorpio. It's in integrity. It's ethical. It really just wants the facts. Like, give me the facts. I don't even know why. Something motivated me. It was Zoe's birthday. Also, my little daughter. She's like my little daughter, but I don't know. I was just motivated to do it that day. But here we are coming up to a really powerful one. This whole month is powerful. Look, we had Friday the 13th yesterday. We have 2 eclipses.
Right.
Mars, Scorpio, Pluto going direct. Venus changed from Leo after being in Leo all that time, is now in Virgo. So now she's scrutinizing the details of what it is we individually love and value. Is this how you want to move forward? We have a lot of support, and we're unconditional love. So, I mean, to me, we might get a little rocked a little bit here and there, but we're not.
Right.
We're going to stand up to what's going on. Hi,
Right.
Amanda Carol. Hi, Starfish Jenny.
Ah.
All right. Hiya, Kayla. Anyone have any questions about any of this stuff we're talking about? Let me see if I missed anybody. Hi, Laurie Hunsinger. Jane the Seeker. Jane, did that answer your question? I don't see anything on February 1st, but I'd have to pull the chart for it to look.
Yes. Right. I haven't gotten that far. I haven't even really touched on January except for the early days.
I haven't got to October 15th. I don't even know. The energy is just constant, nonstop. Boom, 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 boom. It just takes everything, to stay abreast of all this information, because there is a lot. And depending on what aspect of life we're looking at, there's so much information in there. But okay, so what else do we have going on? Was in Chiron. 28th. On the 28th, on that eclipse, it is right there on Chiron, isn't it? It will be the moon.
16 degrees of Chiron's at 16 degrees of Aries. The moon will get there, but the moon is starting out at 3 degrees.
Well, that's right. 3.
Right. But as he finishes up the hours, through the day, he'll be out of that Taurus and lighting up. Let's see, like a day and a half later.
I don't know why I heard that.
2 days later, he'll be sitting on the Aries Chiron. Chiron is still retrograde.
Yeah, and Chiron is helping us. It's the collective wound in this case, because it's the collective Chiron in Aries. So it's in each of us individually, our individual wounds being cleared out, but as a collective.
So
go ahead.
I'm looking at this, and what time did I set this at? 2:45 in the afternoon on the 28th, right? And that's for the collective. So it's a Capricorn rising, and in that 3rd house, it's a split house with Jupiter and the moon in Taurus. Talking too much? Jupiter is direct at that point, or I'm sorry, still retrograde at that point. And then if you look at White Moon Lilith, the North Node, Eris, Xena Eris, and Chiron, they're in there also. So everybody's going to want to be healing and moving forward.
Right.
But we got Eris standing next to Chiron, who's still retrograde. She's at 24 going forward. He's at 16 degrees going retrograde. So even though they both are slow movers, there's that magnetic pull between them. And what is Eris about? She's about defending the helpless.
Eris is, and she's going to be involved in this whole next couple of years. So,
Mhm.
and can be almost considered Mars's sister. Mars,
Mhm.
you know, a very, very similar energy, but she doesn't tolerate fools at all.
Right.
And she's on our side with
Yeah, and I don't want to give the impression that she's a honey bunch, because she's not. She had more honey bunch in her when they still referred to her as Xena.
Xena.
But since they've changed her name to Eris, she's just fighter. She's just a fighter. She's like, she's the asteroid planet of discord.
Discord. But a lot of these goddesses are helping humanity raise in vibration. And you know, we need that strong
Here's power.
feminine coming in. Hi Song Sin.
Well, we have
Susan Funes.
Who's here?
Susan Funes and Song Sin. Hi.
All right.
And what time was the lunar eclipse? Or you're talking about the one on the 28th, Susan? Just want to make sure. Or the solar was today. Yes, we will re-listen to our class session.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that was awesome.
That was an awesome class. Yeah, everybody go check out Val Dragonfly Crystals. Really, really, really connected.
To help you get in touch with your own ability to read Akashic records.
And she also has a channel though. So she has a lot to her. But we took a class today on Akashic records. It was awesome. Yeah. It was an excellent class. A lot of us here were there. April. We're having another solar eclipse. That's going to be on Aries. That's the one I'm talking about. I'm sorry. It was that Aries. Because this eclipse today, it was one of the crosses in. I don't what. No, it doesn't show it on this thumbnail, but it crossed in Texas.
Yes, and we came down the California coast and went all around that and got a little bit in Texas But the one in April?
That one is where Chiron is involved, because that's an Aries again. That's going to be another one that's kind of jolting to America. America's going through their changes. We're in our first Pluto return. We have a lot of these, Uranus is where he was in World War II. Neptune is where he was in civil I don't know, a lot of war energy, but this
12 Civil War,
we have Pluto,
Revolutionary War.
Yeah, we have first Pluto returned, and that was in America's birth chart. He's at 27 degrees right now.
Yeah,
that's where now he first initially went there in 2022, February 22nd, 2022. That's important. I don't know why yet, but it'll come out.
So let me say something about Chiron, because some of our folks here may not understand that Chiron has the strange orbit. It's kind of like a torpedo, he goes way out and close, and then way out, and then comes in close. So this stretch that he has in Aries is a 7-year stretch, a 7-year itch.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's still got another 2 years to go, 2.5 years to go before he's out of Aries. But the next one he goes into, when he goes into Taurus, is not going to be 7 years. I think that one's 4.5 years.
Yeah, it's only 4.
Something like that. So when you listen to these things and somebody talks about Chiron being in a sign for 2 years, that can happen, because that's when he is orbiting close, really close to the sun, close to the earth, so that he is in this brushing teeth for you kind of movement.
Yeah, Chiron is really helping us to get through these. Because think of all these lifetimes, these ages we've lived here, and under this type of low vibration, war, division, hate, and all that. Right? He's helping us clear that out as a collective right now. Now, it's in all our charts too, and we work through that during our lifetimes. Um,
Yeah, he was he had eternal life. And when he got wounded by Hercules' arrow, who was aiming at
accident.
somebody else,
Yeah, it's by accident.
right? The doctor couldn't heal himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's the one who got hurt. And he was in such pain and anguish that after, I think that the legend says, after 1,000 years,
Long
he
time.
gave up living eternally to become the asteroid and just work on helping others.
So it's like once you heal your Chiron wound, it's healer heal thyself, right? There's many healers here. We all have we're remembering our gifts, our psychic gifts, our intuitive gifts, our healing gifts. He's a big player right now with all well, I almost said alternative healing, but it's actually the true healing. You know, we got this other healing in here now. I'm not saying that modern medicine doesn't have its, good points, but it's bringing us back into the energy healing, the energy.
I got a good tip today from Jennifer. I sat with her in the breakout room, and she was reading on me, and she said, don't lock into what the doctors tell you.
Mm-mm.
Take it under advisement, but don't make it your tin plate.
No.
Oh my God, that was like, okay, I got it.
That is so freeing. It is. It's so freeing not to accept the diagnosis or the label, right? Because you just go, oh, wait a minute. I know I'm a powerful. We're energy. We can realign our energetic field. That's something that's been not hidden from us. Let's put it that way. Right?
She was a very eloquent speaker, and just, I mean, it was a good breakout room for me.
Oh, that's good.
Definitely.
I had a good.
We needed more time, but we had other times to take care of as well, which is just as exuberant as that whole class was. So we brought that with us.
And that's why we were late, because we were in a class, but it was awesome. It was really awesome. And I should have scheduled it for later, but we weren't thinking too much going on.
Well, and the funny thing is, you come to the realization that you're already doing this. You just didn't have an identification for it, Right. Now you know what it is. It's
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because that's what I wanted to talk about today. We are all spiritual beings. We're heart-centered, soul-centered. We know something's going on. We have this knowing that the energy is rising. But because of all these ages and lifetimes of being in these lower vibrational energies, it is hard for us to see ourselves, to really recognize the magnificence. We all are. We all have different skills and abilities. And it's to the point where the spirit is directing us, but I mean, we really don't see ourselves truly for who we are, for these divine sparks of the divine that we are. And when you said that, it made me remember, it helped me remember that was one of the things to talk about today, because that is so important. That we
so true.
Recognize who we are going forward.
Generation after generation, our Akashic record, it's been beat into us. Keep your mouth shut. You're the child, right? For the past 4 eras, that's the energy that's been going on. And that's what we're trying to break by shining our light. Don't hide it under a basket. Because those who still want to have dominion over the average person they don't realize we're not average. We're
None of-
making a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can go into soul contracts and all of that because all of that comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is they have no power here. And that's all you got to say. You have no power.
I love it because it is really, it is so convoluted, but it's so simple. They don't have power here. We are our own power, and we are, not we can, we are raising this vibration, and we are seeing each other, and we are honoring and respecting each other for who we are. It is us seeing us, though, where it goes, oh no, I can't shine too bright because if I do that, I might offend somebody. It's just kind of our default because of these ages of being at the, being told to be quiet, being told to. A lot of us were killed for speaking up, for trying to defend, our family, our friends, and heal each other with the healings we knew to be true.
And women especially, because then they made it hysteria and put us in a padded cell. And that wasn't it either. But before that, if you didn't drown, you're a witch, so we're going to kill you. If you did drown, oops, sorry, you died. One way or the other, they were out to kill us because we were smarter than them, and they didn't like it.
Because we're the portal. Now, this is why my channel's name is Illumination Portal, because we are all portals. We really are. But females we bring life in. We bring life in here. Okay? And that they needed to take away the divine feminine. So that's another thing that's been going on, where we're balancing that divine feminine and divine masculine.
That is such a balance. And what the heck happened that threw that off? Because what was lost in the betrayal of the divine feminine was also the divine masculine. And there we go with that paradox. How do we recreate the miracle of the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine and bring that back to this world? That's what this Aquarian thing is really all about. It's not the Pollyanna humanitarian, because that's not what Aquarius is. It is the better good for the majority.
Yes.
Because you can get by with this. And the others need this. And that's the balance.
Yeah, and it is so important because we're bringing in, I see it, we're bringing in more of our higher self too. This is where, because that's what our higher selves are, unconditional love, right? So they're coming in, it's coming in more and more. Because that energy is rising, because they can. It was not saying they couldn't live in that lower vibration, but my God, look at what we've all been through. I'm sure they have come in more so at different times, but the deck was always stacked against us. And Jenny brought up something important here. Yes, it's our ego saying to us, where'd you go? Ego telling us we can't, we shouldn't, we're not good enough. That we got to stop that. We got to remember. We got to encourage.
We got to remember who our ego really is.
Right.
And not the one that's been admonished and punished. Right. Sorry, I just interrupted you, but you
no. It's true. It's true. I want you to say that, because if we go with the lower ego all the time, that's that lower vibration. We're just succumbing to it. We're prisoner to it again and again and again and again, and we got to break that. And it's not easy to do. It's not easy to stand up and say, without any ego, this is who I am. But we are all up here. It isn't I'm better than you or you're better than me. Why can't we all exist in this higher vibration where we understand that it's not about
Power.
power. It's about we're helping each other remember who we are.
Right.
You know, there was a long time of that too, where the guru, right? The guru would take advantage.
Well, and you know, think about Vikram and all of that still goes on with some of the gurus, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
It just and it's constant. It's always there's always a trap, right? There's always a careful, and it's just, you know, honestly, let's do our Pluto, right? Pluto just wants integrity, authenticity, truth, be ethical, because that's our foundation, right? Then and that's being unconditional love without any. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to be something.
You know, and Pluto gets a bad rap because he's the lord of the underworld, but don't misunderstand what that's about, you know.
Right.
It's taking those who deserve to be in the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard job.
Mm-hmm.
Can you be that way and not be sympathetic to some of those souls? Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the orange blob, it's hard. Mm-hmm. That wounded 2-year-old is still in there.
Hi, Fatima. Oh,
you know,
Fatima's been watching all our videos. I see her in the you know how when somebody makes a comment in the old video. Thank you for watching our videos.
Yes, thank you very much, Fatima.
And Pluto, you know, they say he's the underworld, but I think he was put as the lord of the underworld because those that have had power for these ages upon ages. Wow, I just got real high-pitched sound in my ear. Didn't want to be brought into truth and honesty and integrity. So they had to keep blaming Pluto, keep blaming Mars, you know, let them do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And really, Pluto will work with it. As long as you're in your heart, you're connected to your heart, and you're authentic and integrity and honest, your Pluto helps you raise up, come into who you are, you know.
Absolutely. You know, he has to be hard because he's dealing with the hardness of because he's Hades.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's hell, and we can die 1,000 times in one lifetime and never even have an EO, you know.
Ooh, right. It's crazy. And it's how it's all unfolding. And we're going to keep coming back and keep talking about these energies. But this is this is
because it's not going to change overnight.
It's never ending.
Oh, if you're getting tired of it, sorry, that's the way it is.
The never-ending story, right?
Yeah, exactly. Atrayo, rescue me.
It is going to lighten up, but it isn't happening anytime soon. We got all these planets still in retrograde. We're waiting where we need that information to move forward. So it's best to go in, love yourself, accept yourself, let that inner child come out and show you the way. Because that's what's happening when we follow our heart. It's our
exactly. We are entering Samhain. This is the end of the Celtic year. The 13th month is about to happen, right? The 28th. The veil never got any thicker from last Halloween, and maybe even the Halloween before that.
I agree.
You know, and because my brain is always there, it's like, what veil? You're talking about a veil. What veil? I've never seen the veil. However, you know, this is it. Look at how quickly this year went by. So when we say 2025, don't freak out, because look at how fast this year went by.
Yeah, it's going to be really quick. Yeah. And we're going to grow so much as what is being exposed. You know, those coming up behind us that haven't really connected to their heart yet, but are getting ready to, because that's the cycle. You know, they're going to need a lot of help. A lot of people are going to be really upset that they've been duped by a lot of that external crap, and they're going to need help. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help each other up. Remember, help each other remember. But what would you say? Okay, so Halloween is 2 days after that eclipse. It's going to be a good one. So the moon's going to be pretty full. It's going to be really cool.
Even and it'll be the witch's full moon because there'll just be a teensy.
Yeah, love it.
But as long as there's no clouds and rain, boom. Like, today, okay. Nina sent me a picture that she had gotten, and she had this little tiny sliver behind clouds. Yeah. And right after she took it, the sun came out, right? I mean, the clouds parted, but I have been under rainy skies all day except for one moment. At the time of the eclipse, the sun was trying very hard to come through the clouds. Now, I'm in mid-Michigan, so I would not be able, I could see if there weren't any clouds, I would have been able to know that there was an eclipse going on, but I wouldn't have the same visionary that trajectory had when you on the thumbnail for tonight's show where you put that up. Yeah. So, I wouldn't have been able to see the exact ring of fire no matter what, but know that that's going on because the sky shows that.
Right.
And it was just amazing that there was enough brilliance to shine through the clouds. Or was it even the clouds? Was I seeing the shadow? Because it wasn't direct, and I'm decorating for Samhain, big surprise. and so I wasn't looking out any window. It wasn't in a position where I could see it. I could just see that there was light all around in the sky.
It was rainy here too, but I know what you're saying. I saw that when it's a whole different light is coming through, and what to do, right? So we got that blockage of the sun, and even though it was the ring of fire,
I looked at the clock around. It was about 2:30 when I looked at the clock, and that happened. And for us, it was exact at 1:56 for us here in the East Coast. Right?
Ruby Red Slippers is here. Yeah. Was it 155, 156, something like that? Yeah, you're right. And that, wow, because that goes on. And it was long. It was almost 5 hours. So they say about eclipses,
right?
Each minute, I'm sorry, 5 minutes, not 5 hours. Each minute lasts a year. Am I correct there? That's what I think I was hearing.
Like that. Because this can set the stage for the next 20 years.
Okay. So, and we don't, there's so much that it's being revealed to us, right? So much is being revealed to us, and it's going to just keep on coming, and to the point where this is where I think they're going to make their mistake, because they're going to reveal a lot of things, the underbelly of what they've been doing, and everybody's going to be like, you know what, we're done. We don't want that anymore.
So, we remember I called this like a kizami because the moon is the closest point it can ever be towards the sun. Now, it's not at the sun, but it's as close as it can ever get. Like when we have a supermoon, it's as close to the earth as it ever can get. But it's way far away from the earth this time. And it was as close to the sun as it ever gets in the orbital pattern that we have with the moon and the sun.
I think it's apathy.
Earth, because this is our moon.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Mercury conjunct the sun in November, I believe. I
think it's this week. The Kazemi this week coming up.
With what?
Mercury. Where's Mercury?
Let me look quick.
Oh, wait, Mercury's coming up to. Okay, we got the sun at 21. 20, it's going to be this week.
This week, I've got October 20th. He's opposite the sun. That's for October.
Oh,
And I'm looking at November, and I swear I just saw that he was conjunct the sun. But the thing is he's not going to be in a Kazami because he's not in a close orbit. What makes it a Kazami is when it's at its closest orbital point to the sun, right?
right.
In that conjunction. So he can be conjunctive, but he's not at his closest point because we just had a Kazami with him.
Not too long ago, you're right. I think that was in August.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, guys.
Right. Where did I see that? Tell me I was looking at December and didn't realize it. That's a possibility.
I'm not even saying I don't have those moments all day long. Oh my God, boy. No, we can't. But it's enlightening, right? It's enlightening. What comes into our awareness is to come into our awareness to help us raise, enlighten us.
Hey, Ruby, just click your heels 3 times.
That's right. That brings us back to the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
How did you say that earlier? What was the line? You always had the power.
You've always had the power. Just click your heels 3 times. You just say to them, you have no power here.
There you go. That's it. They don't have any power here. We have all the power. Remember that till we come back on the partial lunar eclipse on the 28th.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and we'll do something about it.
And we might just show up somewhere else along the way.
You never know. It's so much going on, and it's important. It's important we stick together. We love you very much, and we appreciate you. If anyone has any questions about anything, here we are. We would love to. If we have the answer, we would love to help.
That's right.
But if not, we will see you in 2 weeks on that partial lunar eclipse on the 28th in Taurus and
Scorpio, because the sun goes into Scorpio. Yeah, the 22nd is a big day for October too, right?
That's when the sun goes in.
Yeah, the sun is on the 21st. He's square. The sun is square Pluto, so that's going to be still within orb the next day when Scorpio goes into. The sun goes into Scorpio, and I guess it's actually the 23rd for us over here in the east at noon, just after noon. Anyway, the 22nd has got Mercury trining Saturn, Mercury opposite Scorpio, which doesn't make any sense, but that's what it's telling me. Oh, because he goes into another sign. Mercury goes into Scorpio that day. I said opposite, conjunct.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're going to have Mercury and Mars together.
And then we have Venus trining Jupiter, so that should be a good day for romance.
Ooh.
Kiss your puppies.
Yeah, right. Kiss your puppies. We will get it. We will be back. We love you. Y'all be safe. Be the love you are. We'll be back.
Yeah. Love y'all. Peace.
Love you.